So here we are again, and we're looking at a really significant frame of this individual, and just going back, to the area where we developed that particular frame. You can see this individual is, I believe, has his fingers up, so his hand could be up, and occasionally there's a finger viewable, but these frames that we're getting are incredible. You can really see this huge thing and get a sense of how big this thing is. I'm saying 20 feet, and it's got friends, and that's why this is all clotted up. This is creatures that they hang out in groups, and so there's a bunch of them watching, and these are unfamiliar symmetries, and the gravity of this, I'm sure, is escaping most people. Just looking at these two frames, you can see this guy's enormous, and so going through the clip, we're going to get frames that are revealing, and occasionally some of the creatures that are with this individual up here all around are viewable in frames. So as we move forward, just kind of keep an eye, because some of these other creatures I've noticed have a tendency to pop. Now we're getting general shape here of the head, and we can see there's a line here that comes down, and that does actually correspond with like the shape of going to a shoulder, which means we've got part of that on top. And isn't it something? It's right where it should be. They've got that hair tuft on top of the head, and a lot of these guys don't actually have a pointy skull. It's more human in its shape. It's just enormous, and then there's hair growing to a point, like a calic off the back of the skull. You can, on some of these individuals, view the forehead. We're getting some of the eyes here. You can see the eyes there, and then this would be the mouth area, so occasionally you'll see teeth. This is under the nose. This is that little ridge in between your nasal passages. He even is showing that through this. I've done a couple of breakdowns this week of other clips that I shot with this individual here during the encounter, and we got really good details off of that. You can see that here on Patreon as well. But what a piece of footage, and walking up with the expectations from reviewing film that we're seeing there's other individuals standing in front of. Look, you can see tufts of hair coming up. It's nuts off the top of this, but you can see this appears to be another individual. You can see a bridge right here. The cheeks pronounced in the bone structure, picking up light. That's that Sasquatch, that Native American kind of Sasquatch painting where you can see the cheeks in the paintings have colors too, and then the forehead has color, and then there's the bridge of the nose in between. Looking at a lot of what we've uncovered, what we can see is that they don't all look the same, and that primarily speaks to genetic alteration of some type. Are these individuals in this group together similar? I would say yes, in that they come from the same basic family group, but I believe there are several different types, and we've demonstrated that visually. We've recorded several different types, so both in tracks and visually on film. And just going through this in the slow motion, you can see we got a lot of good frames, but we're also getting a lot of blur in there too. And some of this you can actually literally see, like, it looks like hair's coming off the side of its head. It's nuts, man. We're getting some good detail though. In some of these frames you can see a little bit of the white of the teeth popping here and there. We get just little specks of light coming back. If he grimaces, we can see that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to move on. Oh, look, we're getting in close here. Let me do a crop and look at this frame right here. Let's do this. And we can see a little bit better already. Yeah, we can see that nose. It's got that hanging down spade shape, and then you can see the nostril angles on the sides there with the eye area. The lip is very thin, but can be pursed and look extremely fat, both upper lip and lower lip. They have a lot of flexion in their faces, so they can take on several different looks, and they use that, I think, to blend and hide and break up their normal symmetries, so that human beings, when they're in their areas, we're down here now, they don't even recognize. And hanging things like hair hanging in their faces, simulating bushes hanging. We get all kinds of stuff, where mostly hair, I'm sure, just hanging in their faces, unkempt, But you can see them over there, right here, and we're getting some of that eye shine coming back from that right pupil, and the left pupil's got a little bit smaller one with a little darker coloration, possibly red. We can see the different tones in here, and it's interesting because he's so big that it's like, let's just pull back out of this a little bit. Oh no, that's it. That's the raw shot. That was where my camera was shaking and I was trying to zoom. So we got really clear frames right there, but I was shaking through the whole thing. And look at that frame. Let's just zoom in on that frame so we can get a little bit better look at this thing's mouth. Let's take a look here. We're gonna check him out right there. Oh yeah. Now we can see this is nostril area, and then that little spade shape. Looks more human in this, right? Like he's drawn his nose back. That's that flexion I'm talking about. This thing can have several looks, and the mouth is very wide. It's got that kind of reptilian, froggish kind of thing, like it lives in the swamp. Right? Because that's where it lives, in the swamp. Just looking over here. Here I am trying to readjust and start another clip, and it didn't work out very good, so I started over again. But I looked at it, and look at this frame right here, guys. Look at this guy. Look at this. Watch this. I mean, look at that. So we've got eye shine coming. We can see his whole face. We got the nostrils and the real big wide mouth. You can see this is a big Sasquatch watching me. And he's got buddies too. It's nuts. And yet there it is. And you can plainly see it. Let's see, it's up here. Let's get this to back up a little bit. And we'll pick that frame up right here. Now here we can, same frame, I've just adjusted the crop, and we can see how big this guy is. Those are train tracks. I've ascertained that it's 55 to 60 feet from these train tracks right here to where he's standing. 60 feet somewhere in there. Or I'm sorry, from the base of the hill. So on the other side here, we've got the hill coming down, and then from the base, at the base of the hill, it's about 60 feet to this tree line, and that thing's standing there. So if we compensate a little bit, we can say he's between 18 and 20 feet tall. And those are some decent sized trees. How big is a human being? Well, if they walk over this hill, you won't see them. If they walk over this tree line, where there appears to be several creatures, which we'll talk about that in another video, and how these creatures actually operate, hiding, right? We have historical references to individuals that are supposed to hide or they'll be killed, coming out of biblical text. We have the book of Enoch, and all of the stories about the books of the giants in there, talking about these giants. We have the book of Enoch actually also talks about how the Creator interceded on behalf of humans that these things wouldn't eat them again like they did at one point in history. Supposedly giants ate all the humans. And this is all coming out of the book of Enoch, which, of course, people like to label it whatever they do. Here we are. And it's becoming more and more obvious where we are with study. And so, in the end, I think, we've all got to take a look at this. I mean, look at this thing. My goodness. Look at that frame, guys. Now, you can see the flexion. Again, he's, pulled his face back. And his nostrils are showing. We have already shown you. And his face is more rounded like this, right? So he's sucking his face back. That flexion I talk about. They can change the way their face looks in milliseconds. And he may even have some fingers up there too sometimes, where he's reaching up, scratching his face, or, But it's a fascinating look at things to come. And they're letting things out all the time. Well, with catastrophes here in the state of Florida, all it's going to take is one real storm. One real storm. Look at these eyes. And again, we've got vertical pupils in there on this particular individual. I've seen creatures that don't have vertical pupils, and I've seen creatures with my own two eyes that have vertical pupils. So I say there's different kinds, guys. Better get used to it. They're awful big. So I think most of the ones people are seeing and saying, I saw a Bigfoot, those are young Nephilim giants. This guy ain't even fully grown yet. Eyes open. Face it.